I haven't scripted this out. I haven't even filmed anything in over, like, almost 2 months, actually, which is weird. I haven't uploaded in about a month now. This is the longest I've ever been away from YouTube in the 5 years I've done it now. But I, for the most part, I've done a video every single, year. My channel turns another year old. I missed my third year, but I did one for my first year, my second year, and last year was my fourth, and we're on my fifth, half a decade, and I... okay, let's just, talk. Let's talk. It's been, it's been a weird 5 years. It's been a great 5 years. It's been a not so great 5 years. I'm going to try and keep this mostly towards YouTube, but knowing me, there's definitely going to be some personal stuff put in here, but not too much, so don't worry about that. My last video I did on last year was like 3 minutes. It was very straight, direct to the point. I feel like probably what you'd expect from these, but I think 5 is a bit different. It's half a decade, and it's 5 years of my life, and so much has changed since that first video, and so much has changed, with me personally, and it's been quite an emotional last few days, just going through my channel and rewatching older videos and just listening to my voice. There's not too much of my face on this channel. I've never really been a huge fan of face cam, so I've kind of shied away from it. I've always been more of a, commentary kind of person. That's usually what I prefer. But, even so, there's so much of me embedded into this channel. I know it's my channel, but I mean, there is so much of me, my personality, my raw emotions, and my feelings, and I'm not just talking about the fact that I had a voice change from being 15 to now. Obviously that's gonna happen, but I mean in terms of just how I've matured. I feel like in some ways. It's been weird to kind of look back at everything. I think for me, it's been more emotional just because of how much I remember recording so many of these videos. I actually went back to a random Walking Dead Michonne video because I forgot that game even existed, but it was a thing, and that was early 2016. And I said at the very beginning of it or something like that, I just got home from school and I have time to actually record this or something like that. And hearing me say that, I just got back from school, that's weird because I started YouTube in, it was a month before I was about to finish or go into my last year of high school before finishing. 15 is a young age. 15 is really, really young, and I don't think anyone actually realizes how young that is until you actually get past it. But you're young at that age, you really are, and some people mature faster. I definitely wasn't one of them. I actually don't think that I really kind of fully matured into an adult, and I use adult in very heavy-handed quotations because it still feels weird to say that, but I don't think I fully matured into an adult really probably until I was 19, so last year. Even when I was 18, I was especially on the channel, I went through a bit of an identity crisis, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was doing these really cringy, bad videos that were just as bad as the earlier videos I was making. It was really, really jarring. But I still did them, and I don't regret them because doing it really helped me get through a difficult period of my life. And I think that's always what I kind of look back on YouTube as, to the most fondly, is the fact that it really was such a distraction, and in a good way, towards all of the bullshit that was happening with me in the real world, just with experiences I was having in that last year of high school. High school was not a great period of my life. I don't really look back on it fondly at all, sadly. I don't speak to anybody pretty much from high school either, other than like 2 of my closest friends. That's about it. You know, and again, we don't need to go into specifics of why I didn't like high school. I feel like some of you can fill out the blanks in your head about, you know, why it wasn't a great experience for me, but it wasn't the best time. And especially when people found out I had a YouTube channel in that last year, that was that was definitely another kind of big target I basically put on my back. And then college happened, and I think college is where I have some of my fondest memories from doing YouTube as well. My internet, I remember, was so terrible at home at the time, back in 2016, 2017, that I actually had to like upload videos at college. I just throw them all onto my USB after they were all edited and go to the library on my like break or lunch, and I just upload them all there because it took about 7 hours to like upload like a 20-minute video or something at home. It was ridiculous. And it's weird to think that, you know, I did that, and to think it was that long ago. You know, I really miss college, to be honest. I think that was like again, there was more bad experiences than good, but I try not to think about the bad ones. You know, in my first year, I just remember like, it was from 2016 to 2017, and then there was just so much good stuff that was happening on YouTube at the time, you know. I started college, I was doing a course that I really enjoyed, to be honest, despite some of the flaws, but, you know, it was a good place to be in and to socialize with and meet new people, and I've met some people that I'm still friends with to this day, which I'm really grateful for. And, you know, like playing Resident Evil 7, I think that's probably the one that always kind of comes into my mind, you know, the most. It's not the, you know, my best commentary or anything like that, but it's probably my favorite playthrough just because it really did great for me at a time where I feel like it definitely was needed for me, just to kind of like have this nice place. And the comments were always full and the likes were always great and the views were always good, but again, you know, views and likes are really kind of things I try not to give a shit about anymore. It's usually just interaction, which sadly has kind of dipped over the last 2 years now. I've been very open on, you know, previous videos about, you know, how I feel towards YouTube and, you know, will I want to continue it? And, you know, again, this break that I've been on for the last month is definitely equated to that. I've wanted to really kind of think it through, and I genuinely was even thinking of actually giving up entirely. It wasn't until like I was talking to some friends and actually like looking back and thinking carefully and just reminiscing, because, you know, 5 years and only what, 1.8k, that's not very great. That's not good growth at all. But I think for me, when I really get down to it, YouTube's more of a personal thing. It doesn't show the full picture of my life over the last 5 years, from being 15 years old to now being 20 years old, almost 21 years old. You know, it's just the experiences that I've had, those are mine. I'm going to remember those. I'm always going to remember buying my first microphone, the one I'm using right now, on a random lunch break that me and my friend went on. We were going to go get Subway or something like that, and I went to Game, and they just had this Blue Yeti microphone with a Watch Dogs 2 PC code bundled with it, and I don't even remember how much it was, but I just saw it, and I instantly was like, right, I'm buying that. I need that, and I'm glad I did. One of the best purchases I ever made. But, you know, like, and, you know, like, I remember, you know, rushing on the Tuesday morning to, you know, go into town and buy Resident Evil 7. I bought like the last copy that they actually had at this game store that I went to, and I ran all the way back home. And I filmed like the first 2 videos or something like that, and edited them so quickly and rendered them up quickly, put them on my USB, and I ran to college because I had like a half day. It was like, I started like my lesson at like, I don't know, like 12 or 1 or something like that, and then I just, it's just like, I was like on such a grind. And then, you know, even with 2018, like if you go back and scroll down to 2018, there's hardly any videos of mine there anymore, because I basically became like a vlogger, and a streamer at that point. It was really bad. I don't know why I did that, but again, I don't regret them, as cringy as they were, because they helped me get through a difficult period of my life, being in a really shitty job that was making me feel really depressed, and, you know, being in a different course entirely to my first year at college, and, you know, doing something I just really wasn't passionate about, and just there was a lot of drama and a lot of bullshit that was surrounding that. Again, we don't need to get into that, but, you know, having YouTube and this kind of escape was really useful. It was really helpful, and it was just so great. And, like, a lot of the streams I did around that time as well, and again, just general videos and stuff like that, actually interacting with a lot of you was great. And I know that there's definitely been a dip. Some people have left, and that is totally fine. I don't expect people to stick around for too long, but I know some of you have. You may have found me very early on, when I was just first starting. You may have found me with games like Life is Strange, or Resident Evil 7, or Late Shift, or any of those games that I did that kind of gave me, traffic around 2016, 2017. You may have just found me very recently. But, if you're still listening, almost 11 minutes into this video, I really can't thank you enough. It's weird to think I'm still doing it, because so many people that I knew that dipped their toes into YouTube, even for, quite a while actually, never really seemed to stick with it. And I don't have, that's not, any kind of knock towards those people, because it's really hard to keep yourself motivated on this platform that's so oversaturated. Especially when you're not growing. Again, I think it's more of just a personal thing for me. I don't do this to try and make it a career, because I know it never will. And that was never my intention from the beginning. I do it because I love video games. I love talking. And, I have this kind of creative passion. In school, I always liked to have a lot of the attention on me, because I did all of the musicals, because they were musicals. They weren't just plays, they were musicals. But I loved acting, and I liked all that kind of stuff, and having a lot of the attention on me. And it's kind of funny, because now it's the exact opposite. I shy away from a lot of that. I don't like too much attention on me, and, that's kind of why I don't do face cam at all. And I usually just stick to voice. But YouTube has really brought a completely, great side to me. Not a different side, but like I'd still definitely be like the same, video game loving person that I am now. But it really did such a drastic, impact, or it had a drastic impact on me when I was, going through college, and just going through these really shitty times, and having this to kind of rely on really helped, because video games are something I use to escape from, real world bullshit anyway, especially with what, what's been happening in the world this year as well. It's been a great escape, and YouTube definitely always came in clutch. It was always there, and I've met so many incredible people from doing it. And again, it's the interaction that means the thing the most to me. Actually meeting, or not meeting in person, but you know what I mean, like actually, like, coming across so many people that are just genuine watchers, or like viewers. I've become friends with just people that have found my channel, and other content creators as well. Some of that, which, I really hope maybe one day I could actually meet. That'd be fucking cool. Just, it's really nice. It's really nice, and I like having this kind of place on the internet. I think that it's just kind of a wonderful thing. And I feel like, even though so many of my early videos, or at least my first couple hundred, yes, I'm using 100, my first couple hundred were so poorly done and so cringy, it's still me, and it's still this backlog of the last 5 years of my life. It's like my last and my last teenage years thrown into this online time capsule. And there's really something beautiful about that, in all honesty. I just think to kind of have this to look back on whenever is just really, really fucking cool. I know that people use things like Instagram, or maybe Snapchat memories, or whatever, to actually like look back on. But I think YouTube is a different beast entirely. You are literally putting yourself, your voice, on the internet in a completely different fashion, in a much more vulnerable, way. Passion? I don't know. But you're really doing it, and I don't know. I'm really just proud of myself for actually taking that chance when I was such a squeaky, shy kid. It's great. It's been a very emotional last few days looking through this channel. I know that some of you probably might think or have some kind of nostalgia towards the channel as well. To all of you, you're just the coolest fucking people in the world, honestly. yeah, this has been 15 minutes. I knew I was going to ramble. This isn't like all of the other videos I made where I just kind of reflect on the year. There's really been nothing to talk about this year that hasn't already been talked about. Even especially with YouTube as well. There's just nothing. I just want to actually talk about YouTube because it's been one hell of a ride these last 5 years. And, you know, it's just so nice to know I'm, you know, still here. May not be as frequent or active, but I'm still here. And, you know, it's just a nice thing to know. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for continuing to watch and to support. And, you know, it really means the world. And I want to say it can only go up from here, but I don't think it will. But, you know, I'm just happy you're still around. It's so nice. This channel means the world to me. And, you know, having all these experiences, you know, good and bad, it's just, you know, made me the person that I am today. And YouTube is a massive part in that. So, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. And with all of that being said, I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everyone. And thank you for 5 years on YouTube.